Trouble reading greens, feeling anxious over a ball and three putting everything doesn't have to be the norm. I have 3 drills for you today that I use to maintain my putting game whenever I'm on the practice green, and they'll help you change your attitude to putting. One of the core drills that I do whenever I come onto the practice green is I practice my 3, 6 and 9 foot putting circles. These have a number of benefits to putting, and I'm going to go through them with you today. You've seen these before. I like to use 6 balls. You can use 8, 10, but I feel like the hole starts getting a little bit filled up after you start using 10 balls to do these. So I like 6, it's a happy medium. All I do is I lay down my putter and space out a putter length away from the hole, and that's about 3 feet or about a meter from the hole. And these putts are crucial for building your confidence. My rule for these putts, 3 feet, is that I don't aim outside the hole. Now, there are some exceptions. There's always exceptions on a golf course. But for these putts, I never aim outside the hole, and I'm okay if I miss the putt to be another 2 to 3 foot past. The reason is, these have such a high make chance once you start getting used to them and taking the break out of the putt. Now you can see my putting length as well is shorter back and longer through to make sure I'm getting a good aggressive roll on the ball, and the putt itself is not actually that far. What that does is it helps me keep my hands moving through the ball, and I don't decelerate on the ball, which is a killer. But I just feel with these putts, my putting stroke is shorter back than it is long. I'm not reducing the length of my backswing and trying to hit through harder. That's going to cause some yips. That's going to cause some mental problems. All I mean is it's not a long putt, so all the power that I need is only back to about here, but then I'll just make sure that my follow through is at least half that long again on the way back. And that, for me, just ensures that I put a smooth stroke on the ball. These should be getting about 5 out of 6 every time. If you're missing them, usually you need to go back, look at your setup, alignment and technique. So they're a really good indicator of how good's my technique at the moment. Because we're taking the break out of these putts. Like the furthest out I'm aiming is inside an edge. So I know that if I'm missing a putt high or low, I'm either aiming too far, allowing too much break, or I'm not being aggressive enough through the ball. Hitting the back of the cup on these is absolutely crucial, and they're an awesome confidence builder. You become bulletproof from 3 feet, and it relaxes so much more of the rest of your game. So work on these 3 foot putts and develop your own system for them. Some 3 foot putts deserve a little bit more respect than others in terms of speed and line. This one, for example, I'm aiming on the left edge, but I still gave it a really good pace. I've already got my 5 out of 6. Let's see if we can finish with 100%. Yes. See that fist bump? That's the other reason why I love these. Awesome pressure practice. If you say I'm not moving on or I'm not going home until I get 5 out of 6, you will treat each of these putts with the respect that they deserve. Now that 3 foot's done, we can move up to 6 foot. And for me, this 6 foot circle is the golden circle. Okay, so here we are now at 6 feet. My 6 feet circle is my golden circle. Okay, my rule with these is that generally I don't aim more than a cup outside the hole. I want to keep a good aggressive putt, and usually I'm taking the putter even back and even through to make sure I'm putting a good roll on the ball. And I'm usually looking to make 4 to 5 out of 6 of these. Usually if I miss one, I'll put it back, leave it there to come back to, and keep working around the hole until I can make my 4 out of 6. And this is where I get my reps in, by doing this. If it's not pressure practice, it's just rep practice to get used to rolling in putts from this length. So this is a little bit more brutal in case you wanted to really get the reps in, but to get used to holing them from this length, I'll keep going. And if I miss one, take it out. And start again until I get all of them in a row. It's probably the hardest one in the circle. So you can see now I'm starting to get the hang of actually holing them from this length. So just a little uneven there, but I've got my 4 out of 6. These 9 foot putts are sort of the very similar into the 6 foot range, 3 meter length from the hole. And this is important because this is about as far of a long of a putt that I'm expecting to make. So these putts are also an even back, even through stroke for me. Giving a little bit more respect to the hole, usually allowing about 2 cups of break, because I still want to try and send the ball into the back of the hole. And these are the putts these are the birdies. These start getting you positive, moving around the course. In terms of percentage of these, I'm looking for about 2 to 3 out of 6 to be confidently making them. If I can be making 50% of these, that's amazing. You know, but even knowing, standing over this putt, I have a 2 out of 6 chance of holding this. Goes a long way with the confidence. So I'm going to start with the hardest putt out of the group. Same setup routine over every ball. And that's really important. I'm going to touch on that a little later. I'm pretty happy with that miss, to be honest. It's past the hole, it's just lipped out. Not too bad. Let's move on. I'm not trying to die them in, I'm trying to send them in. Okay, that's a good miss. Okay, a little high, a little strong, but just outside of 3 feet. Now, if that was for birdie, then I know that I've got a really good chance of holding this return putt for par. Bam, straight in. Oh, that's not a bad miss. Could have been a little bit more aggressive again. So overall, what I take from that is that I could be being a little bit more aggressive with my putts on today. So if I got to a golf round early, I just chuck down some balls at 3, 6, 9 feet and then just pay attention to where I'm leaving them around the hole. You can get a good speed, a good gauge for the greens, what kind of speed they're running at for the day, and where my percentages are on the day. I wouldn't really recommend this drill before a golf round, but maybe on the Friday afternoon before the Saturday, come out and do some of these drills and get the speed right. Alright guys, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about lag putting. Now, there's a simple drill that I have to help you with the pace of your lag putts to get them within that 3 to 6 foot circle we were talking about. It's very simple. We break the putt down into thirds. So when I'm looking at this putt here, it's a long way. It's uphill, slightly right to left. So for me to get the distance right of this putt, I'm going to have to break it down into 3 parts. And this is what I'll do during practice and when I go out to play. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 meters away. So about every 3.5 meters roughly is where I'm going to put down the tee to putt this to. So 1, 2, 3 and a bit. I'm just going to pop a tee down, and then another 1, 2, 3 and a bit. I'll pop another tee down here. So I've broken this putt now down into 1/3, 2/3 and 3/3. What I'm then going to do is hit some balls and try and lag them to that first tee. So I look at that first tee. Okay, cool. I just have to hit it about there. A bit short. Let's go again. Hit a little bit harder. Okay, cool. Keeping that feeling of how far that first tee is, all I need to do now is hit that a little bit harder, add on to it a little bit more. For the second third, that's pretty good. And now the last third, I just add a little bit more onto that again. That's actually pretty good. I might go on the outside. And then I'll hit that same putt again. That's pretty good too. So that gives me some visual feedback on how far I need to hit it. So when I come out to the course and I need to hit these, I'm standing behind the ball here, lining up my putt. I can visualize 1/3, 2/3, and then 3/3. So 1/3 is about there, 2/3, a little bit of a bigger swing, and then 3/3, 3/3, and then I pick my line, keep that 3/3 feeling in my muscles and hit the ball. A little strong maybe. It's pretty good. Maybe just outside 3 foot, just outside 3 foot, just outside 3 foot. Pretty consistent. Now, do I have a lot of stress on me to hold these putts? No. Because what's my make percentage from 3 foot? 100% today. Give it the respect it deserves. Make your conversion for a 2 putt. Lastly today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about reading, how I read putts. I've got a heck of a putt here. It's downhill and it's right to left. But how do we know how far right to left and how far downhill? What I like to do when reading putts is obviously get behind the ball and just to line the ball up with the hole and look at it as if it was a straight putt, and I visualize if I hit this ball straight at the hole, what would happen to it? How far would it break? How far would it move? Then what I do is I look at the hole and I look around the hole and see how much slope there is. I can identify that in order for this ball to go in the hole, it isn't going to enter in the front of the cup. So what I'm paying attention to is the entry point of the ball going into the hole. So I'll walk around the putt and I'll get down low and I'll keep walking until I can feel that the slope in my feet going left to right, and I can see it at the hole until I get to a point where the slope is even. And if I look at this hole, it's a flat entry straight into the hole. So let's say I have my entry point. I visualize a line coming out from that point out this way. So I need to hit this ball somewhere along this line for it to enter this line in order for it to enter the hole at that point. That's what helps me with my speed calculation. So I've got my line, now I need my speed. So if I draw a secondary line to match this line up here, I'll be only hitting the ball to that. And let's say this feels like a really fast putt. Sometimes you need to allow for that much break. But if I hit the ball to about here, it's going to break and probably be a little bit short. For this putt, I feel like it needs to be, basically, the closer to the hole I aim along this line is the harder I'm going to hit the putt. So if this was a straight uphill putt with a little bit of right to left, I might be aiming at about here on the line or at the hole. Okay. And if it's sort of downhill or right to left, I'll be aiming somewhere a little bit further down this line. So for this putt for me today, I feel like for this to enter the hole where I've drawn that line, I need to aim this putt around about here. Now that gives me two lines, from the ball to this tee and then from this tee to the hole. And what that gives me, now I visualize an arc smoothing out between these two vertex points. So if I can hit the ball with enough speed to go at that tee, I don't know, it just kind of like meets up with that line as it gets to the hole. So if I set up here, aim at that tee, and then it draws a line between these two straight lines that I've made and makes an automatic arc, and that gives me the speed for the putt that I need. Now this wouldn't be a Blue Dot Golf video if there wasn't a bonus tip at the end. So thank you for hanging around. Obviously you're finding this content engaging or useful, or at least interesting. Give me a like and a subscribe to follow for more. And I have a bonus tip here to help you with your mindset over these putts. Now, the 3-foot putting drill is vital to making sure that you don't drop strokes. I'm going to show you why. This is a fun little game that I like to play, usually when I'm warming up with my playing partners, but it's a really good pressure game too. It's called Par 2. Every practice green has a number of holes on it. Start anywhere on the green, pick a hole, and every hole is a Par 2. Now, after your putt, the only rule is you have to move your ball back a putter length in a line, straight line from the hole. This ensures that you always have at least a 3-foot putt, and it ensures that, more importantly, you're giving every putt the respect it deserves. Week after week, I see people hitting a putt, putting loads of effort into the first putt, leaving themselves 4 foot and just walking up and trying to tap it in. Don't do that. Give every single putt, just like in that 3-foot putting drill, the respect it deserves. You need to use your setup, your alignment, and the intention to hold the putt on every putt. Every putt. I don't care how long it takes you to stand over a 1-footer. Treat it with the respect you deserve. And then when you start sinking them, people are not going to think you're weird. People don't think you're weird for doing that anyway. I will stand over a 1-foot putt, put my club down behind the ball. People are walking off the green because they think I'm going to tap it in. No, I'm going to do my setup and putt that ball in. Make sure it goes in, because you just never know. You never know when you're going to have a severe break. You're going to ruin your momentum when you just try and do these ones, because we see everyone on the TV lean in and do this one. Don't do that from 3 to 4 feet out. Take your time, hole every putt with intention. Your scores will come down, I guarantee it. I'm going to do my lag putting drill, so I'm going to break this putt down into thirds. I feel like 1/3 is there, 2/3, 3/3. I walk around the hole. I see where my entry point is. I've got my entry point. There's a fair bit of break here. I see where I need to lag it to. Go through my whole routine. It's a big left to right actually. Short and under the hole. Now the pressure's on. Okay, here's where my lag putt ended. In terms of a lag putt, it's not too bad. It's just outside 3 foot. But because I'm playing this game, I now need to move this back a putter length in line with the hole. And now this is for par. It's a good thing we practiced our 6-foot putts. Oh, after all that work about sending it into the hole, that one just crept in. So I've made par. Okay, cool. Chuck the ball down. Pick another hole. It's also a par 2. Same thing. See if you can go around your practice green and shoot level par. It's not easy, but give it a go. If you like today's video, like, subscribe, and follow for more. Play well.